Derrick Henry, I spoke about, once he gets going, he has top-notch speed. That's why we needed to be able to penetrate to slow him down. Once he gets going, look at the momentum. He breaks loose for a long, long touchdown. Buffalo Bills got stomped out by the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to diagnose it. Derrick Henry reached 21.9 miles per hour, tied for the fourth fastest speed by a ball carrier this season. And Derrick Henry is that big. I mean, Henry has reached 20 plus miles an hour 27 times as a ball carrier since 2018, trailing only Tyreek Hill, who's hit it 73 times. And just look at how big he is. Derrick Henry, this is why Brandon Beane said this was such a great decision by the Ravens to pick him up. I mean, unbelievable to be that size, that strong, and to outrun some of the fastest players on our team for the touchdown, making things easy for Lamar Jackson. There are some comments from the Baltimore Ravens insiders talking about the game, and they could see here that the Ravens knew all week what play they'd start with if the Bills came out in a certain defensive alignment. When they lined it up, they got exactly what they wanted. 87 yards later, the tone was set for dominating the night on both sides of the football. But looking at it a little bit closer here, we could see just a great schematic play. You heard the analysts for the Baltimore Ravens say if they came out in a certain defensive package that they were going to call this play. And it looks like we are in nickel formation. They come out and they crack back on Ed Oliver at the top of the screen with their tight end. And it creates this huge gaping hole for Derrick Henry, who breaks loose, and the Bills don't have enough speed to chase down Derrick Henry. And this was a theme all night long. I mean, Derrick Henry just stampeding, road grading the Buffalo Bills all night long. I mean, the Buffalo Bills really, really need to figure this out and get things squared up here. I mean, obviously Taylor Rapp leaving the game was a big time loss. Cole Bishop coming in for the Bills. Us not having Matt Milano, Taron Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of missing pieces going on. And to be honest, the past few weeks, like, we've been pretty sound defensively with Bobby Babich, but it sounds like the Baltimore Ravens, Jim Harbaugh, and all these guys really had the right game plan going against the Buffalo Bills Sunday night. This was really all because of what they schemed up, what they saw, and what they planned against the Buffalo Bills. And you can see some other comments here. Staff reactions: Ravens soundly defeat Bills behind a heavy rushing attack. So this was really all because of the Baltimore Ravens really establishing the run offensively, taking guys like Greg Rousseau, Von Miller, Ed Oliver pretty much out of the game, and we fed in to what they do best. Some points I want to quickly make: just total first downs. The Bills only had 12 first downs compared to the Ravens' 22. This signals that the Bills really weren't able to have long, sustained drives. We weren't able to pick up first downs. The Ravens' defense really did their thing against Bills Mafia, and they came to play against the Buffalo Bills. They got after Josh Allen. They were able to stop the run. We didn't have any passing touchdowns. Josh Allen didn't have any touchdowns coming from a quarterback that is one of the best in NFL history this early in his career, scoring the most touchdowns. I mean, that is just a crazy feat by the Baltimore Ravens defense in this upcoming game. Also, taking a look at it here, some other things that really stood out were the total rushing yards. We really played into what the Baltimore Ravens want to do. Lamar Jackson is capable of passing it, but he isn't a pure pocket passer like a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I think Lamar Jackson really relies on running it, and the Ravens really want to establish the run to develop play action to make the pass easier for Lamar Jackson. And you really look at it, 271 rushing yards for the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson having 199 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Talk about establishing things offensively for the Ravens. We really got behind early. We had a slow start. The Ravens were able to run the ball on us all night long, and we could just never really get ahead. We could never put Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in a position where they had to pass the ball and increase the turnovers. And I know we did force a fumble, And I think that was absolutely excellent, but it just wasn't enough because they had a turnover of their own. So the turnover differential was completely the same. James Cook doing some big time things this year. 9 rushing attempts for only 39 yards. Didn't do much. And we did have some injuries, like Khalil Shakir getting nicked up, right? 5 receptions, 62 yards, pretty decent. But the Bills, we just need to step up. Even the trick play to Curtis Samuel and Josh Allen, I like the play call. I like trying to get creative in that moment. It just didn't work. It didn't pan out. Receiving for James Cook, too. Only 1 target, 1 reception for 9 yards. You would think we would probably be having some things dialed up with James Cook trying to receive the football. So the Ravens defense really smothered the Buffalo Bills offense completely out, but it was also their offense smothering out our defense. There's a lot to learn from in this matchup versus the Baltimore Ravens, going away, being in that away stadium, understanding what teams could ultimately do against us right now without Matt Milano, without Terrell Bernard. I mean, we're missing some pieces. Taylor Rapp ended up going down too as well during that game. Cole Bishop we're relying on. Dorian Williams we're relying on. Balin Spector. And I know all these guys, that's the DNA of the players that we bring in here. They're going to continue to improve. They're going to continue to get better. They're going to be much better come next week than what they were last week versus the Ravens. And I think as a week-to-week thing happens throughout the season, the Bills always get better under Sean McDermott. I know that is going to continue. Offensively for the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, I think there was a little bit too much pressure. Like Josh Allen felt a little bit too much heat from the Baltimore Ravens, and we need to do a little bit better job. Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown, I mean, they're a tough defense, a very tough defense. I think we really just need to figure ourselves out, understand the playmakers on this team, and still, I think the Ravens took out James Cook. I mean, there really wasn't much for James Cook running the football, but it would have been nice to maybe hit him with some screens, maybe get him involved in the passing game a little bit more. I know everyone's going to eat in this offense. We're going to continue to find the openings and find what is working, but it just wasn't enough against the Baltimore Ravens this week. Defensively, Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, the other defensive ends, and people, we really are relying on this defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. Everything feeds off this defensive line right now because we're relying on Dorian Williams, Balin Spector, Cole Bishop, Cam Lewis. I mean, this is just something that we need. Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones. We need the most out of all these players moving forward. But I think the Bills are going to be just fine. It was in an away stadium. Baltimore Ravens came to play. There is some history there between Sean McDermott and Harbaugh. I think they know one another, and just like we saw in the comments, I mean, Derrick Henry, Hall of Fame running back, Derrick Henry is absolutely insane paired with Lamar Jackson, one of the most athletic freak quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, it's tough to defend, and the Bills were playing them with our backups. I think we'll be much better come later in the season if we face them once again. But I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe for future content. Check the links down below in the description to the BNC chicken wing merch. You can also get $20 off SeatGeek when you use promo code BNC. That's concerts, NFL games, baseball games, whatever it is. Appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.